All right, so welcome everyone. I'm super happy to be here with you. My name is Tara. I am originally from the UK, but I'm based in Spain for those of you that don't know me. I'm just going to check that all the mics are muted here. Bear with me one sec because I can see new people hopping in. One sec. Okay. All right, welcome to those of you who are just joining us. Can I just make sure that all the mics are turned off so we have a really clear and crisp audio? All right, I'll start again. Welcome. Thank you so much for your interest in this work. So today what I'm going to be sharing with you is really the culmination of about 12 years of investigation into the voice, into holistic conscious voice practice. I'm just going to share a small fragment of what that looks like for those of you that are interested in this work. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tara. I am based just outside of Barcelona, but I've been living in Spain for about 12 years, originally coming from the UK. And to give you a little bit of background to my story, I have been studying and practicing and teaching yoga for the last 20 years. And along that journey, I came across Bhakti Yoga, which is the yoga of the voice. In my youth, I was a musician. I trained in classical and jazz music, voice, piano, flute, saxophone. I was that kid that always had an instrument at school, going off to classes after school. And I have my parents to thank for that, really. We weren't a musical family at all, but my mum really encouraged us to learn music. So from a young age, I was immersed in musical study, but it was very much the traditional form of learning. And I left that behind when I went into my yoga studies, my yoga teaching, but it kind of circled back when I found the practice of mantra and sacred song. And so I delved back into studying music and studying the power of the voice. And the last 12 years or so have been dedicated to that, alongside teaching some of you wonderful people here. I can see in the Zoom room, teaching my yoga classes and pranayama and meditation. So today what I'm going to be sharing with you are some practices and some philosophy about how we can use our voice to uplift ourselves, to uplift each other, not just through our spoken voice, but through our song. So we're going to be using song and mantra as a primary tool to help us align our voice, align our words and our speech with higher frequencies, a higher vibration. Okay? So as we go, if you have any questions or comments, you're welcome to put them in the chat, and then I can address them at the end of the class. I'm going to just hop straight into the presentation now. And hopefully you can all see something that says your healing voice. Yeah? Let me just double check that that is okay. Good. All right. So we're going to start just by saying that the voice is a space of power, right? When we look at all the spiritual traditions around the world, we see that creation started with sound, with vibration. And here's a quote here from the Bible: "In the beginning was the Word." And we see this same teaching repeated throughout many different spiritual traditions. In the beginning was Om, and from the Om vibrated forth all of creation. And what these teachings are pointing towards is that the voice creates, the voice manifests, our speech, creates our reality, our words, our song have a powerful creative force behind them. The throat chakra, also known as Vishuddha chakra, the fifth chakra in the body, is also called the second womb of the body. Again, pointing to the fact that this is a creative space. We have in the second chakra of the body, the sexual organs, the uterus, that creates biological life, right? But the fifth chakra, the space of the throat, which is located just between the heart and the head, between the brain and the heart, this is a space where we channel forth our ideas, our beliefs, our opinions. It's a very powerful space of creation. The voice expresses itself in two primary ways. So externally, through our spoken word, through our written word and song, can also obviously be through conversation, prayer, blessing, also through, our arguments, through how we sell or market an idea or a concept. All of these are ways in which we express externally the word. Through, in terms of song, it would be chanting, group singing, hymns, etc. Internally, though, the word and the voice also expresses itself through our thoughts, our opinions and beliefs, through perhaps complaining internally, through the mantras that we have internally that repeat themselves on loop and condition our behavior and condition the way that we see the world around us. And internally, there is another voice that also expresses, and that is the inner voice. We can also call that our intuition. It comes as flashes of insight, of comprehension, of guidance. Okay, but we need to quieten all the noise in order to hear this inner voice, because otherwise it's just the mechanical voices, the automatic voices that loop and condition the way we see the world. So we have an opportunity here. The voice is a space of power. We have an opportunity to put our voice in service if we wish, to use it to uplift ourselves and each other, to be a beacon of peace, a beacon of compassion, to share kindness and understanding, or we can use it as a tool to harm, to create division, conflict, to manipulate or dupe, betray, or to gossip. So in my work, when we're looking at a holistic voice practice, that of course we use song and we use vocal techniques, and we're using mantra and prayer to uplift ourselves, but we also have to be really attentive to what's going on internally. What is the intention behind how I use my voice? What is the intention behind my song? And we can see in the world that there are a great many quote unquote magicians, people who are using the voice to seduce people into an idea, to manipulate others. We can see this very clearly, for example, in politics. Politicians are very, very skilled at using their voices, but to what end? So we have to, when we are working in the realm of the fifth chakra, in the realm of the throat, this is what we're being asked to pay attention to. How am I using my voice, my words, my song to support, heal, uplift, or to manipulate, convince, create fear, create conflict, etc. We can use our voice as a weapon if we wish. So more and more we're being asked to look inwards, to look at what is really the intention behind my speech, behind my conversation. This is the work that we do in this space. And if we really want to go deep into this work, it's essential for us to redirect our attention inwards in order to listen to our inner voice, in order to connect with intuition, with guidance, with a sense of clarity within. And so, what is this inner voice, right? How does it appear to us? I call it the inner voice, right? This is the name that I call it. And it's a voice that comes in the silence, when we create silence. It's always redirecting us home to our heart. So there is a voice of the heart that is always speaking to us, and we will know it by its characteristics. And the guidance and where it leads us is always home. It's always back home to heart, back home to our center. Anything that is taking us away from that can be interrogated and questioned. How can we connect with our inner voice? Through silence, through being in nature, through prayer. Prayer is a wonderful practice. Through meditation, through mantra and sacred song. These are ways in which we can activate a voice that is in more alignment, we could say, with our highest good and with the highest good of humanity. So why mantra? Why sacred song? So when we're singing mantras, oftentimes we're singing words of peace, words that connect us with love, with kindness, with compassion, with courage. They're affirmative chants. When we repeat these chants internally, we are literally, it's like a programming. It's like we're coding, right? We are all aware of this language now with computer coding. We're coding those very states of being into our organism, into our being. When we align our words with words of peace, rather than words of conflict or judgment or criticism, we become those very states of being. We know that in order to get better at something, you have to practice it. So if you are continually practicing complaining, criticizing, judging, or being impatient with people, then you'll become better at that, right? But if we practice patience, compassion through our speech, through our actions, through our thoughts, then we become better at living from those states. Also, mantra and sacred song, or any of the ancient languages, connect us with, we could say, the ancient languages, we could say, have a purer geometry. So when you think about words and the form and the shape of words and how they sound, they're like energetic stamps. When we send our speech out, the tone, the quality of our speech, this has an imprint upon the psyche of the other person, or an imprint upon ourselves. The ancient languages have not been as contaminated, we could say, as our modern day languages. So I'm talking about Sanskrit and Hebrew, for example. They maintain a very pure geometrical structure. And when we sing in those languages, they're like, the words, we could say, are like keys that open certain portals that have an effect upon our energetic body. Another reason why mantra is a popular tool for us, or a useful tool, is because through the repetition of certain words and phrases, we calm the mind, we stop the flurry of thoughts. It's like a breath work, a guided breath work, where you're counting, for example, box breathing, if any of you have done that. You're inhaling for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, holding for 4. the mind has to be very present. It has to stay present and attentive, otherwise it loses itself, where it loses track of where it is. In the same way with mantra, the mind has to stay present. And so all your worries about the future, your projections about the future, your worries about the past, it stops all of that for a moment, presses pause on our habitual way of thinking and being. I've already spoken a bit about the energetic portals that certain mantras help us open. And then literally the art of singing opens the heart. So on the very physical, tangible level, singing itself helps to open the heart. So this is why we use it as a way to uplift our being, to connect us with states of joy, of celebration, of peace. If we think about modern day music today, we think about what the teenagers are listening to, and even, much younger children, and consider the lyrics that are sung these days, and the intention behind those songs. When I listen to what's on the radio, when you really listen to what they're saying, it's almost pornographic, most of the material, or sharing false ideas about love, romantic love, like Hollywood. It's selling a lot of false ideas to us and to children and to adolescents, that is very confusing and leads us astray. So we have to really think about the language that we're exposed to all the time, through music, through publicity, through advertising, how it's all being used in some way to manipulate and seduce and to kind of steer us in certain directions. So it's only through deep listening, quiet, and going within that we can really begin to discern what is supporting me and my peace and my inner state, and what is actually an aggression against that. So mantra can take various different forms. It can take the form of a blessing. And I've used this example here, drawing a circle of light. And I want to just expand on this idea for a minute. There's a wonderful Irish mystic poet called John O'Donoghue. He's no longer with us, but he's one of my favorite poets. And he wrote a book of blessings. And he describes a blessing as a circle of light drawn around a person to protect, heal, and strengthen. He says, the beauty of a blessing is its belief that it can affect what unfolds. When we bless, we are enabled somehow to go beyond our present limitations and reach into the source of all creation. A window opens in eternal time. A blessing awakens a future wholeness. And then he goes on to say, the blessing speaks to the heart's longing for a state of wholeness. To invoke a blessing is to call some of that wholeness towards you or another in the present moment. When you invoke a blessing, you are creating a sheltering wall of peace around that person or thing, and it can start a journey of transformation. So this is one way that we can use our speech, a way that we can use a mantra to bless. We can also use them as affirmations to strengthen and fortify that which is known, already known, or that which you're calling in, that which you're desiring. We can use prayer and invocation, so calling upon asking for guidance, asking for help or forgiveness, pain. All of these ways in which we invoke using our speech, it's like we're working in the quantum field. We're working to draw something towards us with our intention and with our words. And obviously, the more that we repeat that, the more we attract that towards us, the better we become at making that a reality. And then also, we can use mantra in the form of celebration and praise, celebrating peace, or celebrating all the different forms of God and the goddess. So there are many different forms of using mantra. On a practical level, on the day-to-day, what does this look like, right? So in our relationships, if we're struggling in our relationships, or just in general, if we want to draw a circle of light around our relationships, we can pray, we can bless, we can chant for peace, we can, through our song, ask for guidance, ask for clarity in certain relationships that where there's conflict. Okay, there's ways in which we can just place attention on things that we're wanting to transform within us and within our relationship. We can make things matter more, place a significance upon, it just could be something that you're wanting to create or transform in your relationship, rather than it just being in your head, actually writing it down, chanting, praying, having it very present with you. If you are a coach or a therapist or a teacher and you're using your voice all the time to impact others, it's so important that you understand the intention behind your advice, the intention behind your guidance. As a parent as well, how am I using my voice and what impact is it having on my children, on my clients? As a healer or a doctor, right? It's so important. The words of people in the medical industry have a great importance upon whether the patient is going to get better or not. The words and the speech of a doctor or a medical professional should always be, you are healing, you are getting better, your body is a miracle, it knows what it's doing, it's returning to center, it's returning to homeostasis. It is a known and proven factor that when we receive a prognosis from a doctor, you have 3 weeks to live, you have a month to live, very often the patient will decline in that period of time. You have to be so mentally and psychologically strong to be able to overcome that spell. It's like a spell. Okay, so important that the words of someone in the medical profession who has authority are incredibly supportive and healing to the patient. If you are suffering from depression or low mood, just the act of chanting itself, of singing, will help to stimulate the respiratory system. It will help to open the heart. You can choose to focus on prayers of gratitude, on mantras of gratitude, where you are recognizing the blessings in your life. That can really help to just shake you out of your low mood and remind you of the blessing that is life, of what is sacred. And finally, just as another example, for forgiveness, all of us have work to do around forgiveness, even on the smallest level. And obviously going into great trauma, abuse, all the wars going on now, there's a huge amount of forgiveness that we're having to do as individuals and on the collective. So the ways that we can do that are by chanting prayers of forgiveness, releasing our victim mentality, invoking the support we need, the guidance we need to let go of the past. I actually teach a 6-week course on the voice of forgiveness. If any of you are interested, you can just reach out to me and I can let you know when the next course is coming up. So just on a day-to-day, really practical level, we can begin to place attention on how we're using our voice and our speech to heal, right? To heal ourselves and to be a healing power in the world. So this work, the work within the 5th chakra, within the throat space, it calls us to pay attention. It calls us to observe ourselves in order to understand the intention behind our words and our thoughts. And so the question is, how are you using your voice or our voice, both internally and externally? So in all my work with my one-to-one students, with my group courses, it's never just about singing beautifully. It's never just about learning how to sing or chanting mantras. It's really 80% is what's going on internally and how is that affecting your sung and spoken voice. And how do we begin this process? Well, as Wordsworth says, to begin, begin. So let's begin. We're going to enter into a few practices together. And these practices are vocal practices so that we can begin to place attention on the throat chakra. And just like in yoga, for any of you yoga practitioners here, you know, when you're starting to work with your body at the beginning, it can feel a bit sticky. It can feel a bit, you know, you can feel blockages. You can feel perhaps some tension, but after a while, things begin to ease. So if you're here for the first time and this is really new to you, don't worry, things will get easier. I encourage you just to pay attention to what's going on internally, the vibrations, the sensations. We're going to go super slow and we're going to start with the vowels. Okay. The vowel sounds are keys that awaken certain energetic centers in the body. The E sound is related to the third eye and the pineal gland. So we could say the 6th and the 7th chakra. The E sound is related to the throat, the 5th chakra. The O related to the heart. And the A as well is this whole area of the lungs, the expansion around the lungs. The U sound is related to the solar plexus. The M, the belly and the lower abdomen. You can think of this like when you have a nice meal. It's that sound related to the stomach and the digestive system. And then the S, like a snake, related to the kundalini, the serpent, coiled at the base of the 1st chakra, the base of the spine, related to the sexual organs, 1st and the 2nd chakra. Okay, now you will find some variations of this particular sequence. Just yesterday, I was in a class, a Drupad, a traditional Indian singing class. We were finishing up our 3rd module together with my teacher. And according to that tradition and according to her studies, there's slight variations with the placement of the O, the A, and the U. So we can see that there's still some confusion here. What people are very clear about is that the E sound is clearly located here between the third eye and the pineal gland and the E in the throat. But what I would say is that regardless of, your tradition or your background in this work, Your body is your own laboratory. Find out for yourself. There's only so much we can read in textbooks. A lot of this work is not understood by the intellect alone. We have to understand it from another place within us, and that is on the felt level, right? And then also intuitively listening and receiving information from within. Okay, so let's jump in. I'm going to pop on some headphones. You don't need to, but I'm just going to plug in my mic here so you guys can hear me better. Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to have to stop this screen share for a minute while I make some adjustments. Okay, and we'll head back in. So I'm going to be using a harmonium. If any of you are not familiar with this instrument, I'll just give you a little shot here. So it has a fan here or a pump that I use to just create a drone in the background. So we're going to be accompanying our song with this. Hopefully you can hear me okay. If there's any issues with sound, just let me know. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. So if you've been sitting for a while now, maybe you want to change your position. If you've been sitting with crossed legs, change the crossed legs. Lifting up through the spine, rolling the shoulders back. We're just going to take some moments to connect with our breath. You might like to close your eyes. So we want to make sure that the belly is soft, right? We're not holding any tension in the belly, the lower abdomen. As you inhale, draw up through the spine. As you exhale, release the shoulders. As you inhale, open the chest. And as you exhale, relax the hips, relax the legs. We remember that we bring all that we are to our song. So however you are today on the emotional level, however you are today, psychologically, mentally, that will all be present in your song, and we embrace that. We're going to begin by chanting the M together, so the lips are together, taking a deep inhalation. Vibration in your throat, in your chest, in your head. One more time. We're going to begin by opening up into the vowel sounds, the R, the A, the E. So I'm going to sing a simple melody, a tone, and then we're going to start going up and down 5 notes, okay? So just have a listen. Together. Inhale deeply. Inhale together. And observe how you're breathing deep down into your belly. We don't want the voice just to be beginning in the throat, right? We want it to come from deep down. Feel that support and that sustain from deep down, okay? Let's keep going. Take a deep inhalation. Close the eyes for a moment and breathe into your chest, breathe into the heart. And observe already. See if you can begin to observe any energy movement within you. The effect that this has had on your breath, on your respiratory system. As we sing, we begin to obviously work all the muscles around the chest, the neck, the throat. We're starting to work on the intercostal muscles, the solar plexus, the abdomen is involved to some degree. So we're starting to create this kind of elasticity and spaciousness in the whole of the trunk. It brings life, it brings vitality, okay? Let's keep moving. There's a lot I want to get through with you. We're going to move into our first mantra, which is Ad Gure Name. It's the Mangala Charan mantra. It's a mantra that we recite for protection But it's also a mantra that talks about the guru, the inner guide, right? It helps to surround us with a field of protective light. So if you're feeling particularly vulnerable doing these practices, or many of us feel vulnerable when we have to speak in public, for example, this can be a great mantra to work with to help just settle and ground you, to bring protection. If you're feeling that you're walking into a situation or a meeting or a boardroom or a difficult conversation, you can chant this mantra to harness your inner guru, your inner voice, your inner light. So I have a version that's on my latest album of this mantra. And it's a slow, steady, measured melody. So I'm just going to begin by singing it, and you can join when you're ready. But let's really tune into the meaning and the intention behind it. So just closing your eyes for a moment. And let's use this mantra as a blessing, to draw a circle around us. Everyone here in this room, everyone watching back. A circle of protection. As we unite in our prayer, as we unite in our song, may this mantra support us in our endeavors. May it protect our families, our communities. And we sing from that place, harnessing the power, the creative power of our voices. exhalation. Coming back into your body and singing this song with a sense of dignity, a sense of responsibility. Taking responsibility for our words, our speech, and through this prayer, aligning our words with ideas and concepts that are healing, that are nourishing to the soul. You can see here that there is a lot of ah sound, a lot of eh sound. No? Ad gure name, jugat gure name. So let's try and think about how we project, how we form the vowels, the shape of the vowels in our mouth, as if they were yoga asana. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and exaggerating the vowel sounds. At kure name. Last time. Jugat kure name. Sat kure name. Siri kuru deve name. And breathe. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. So just observe how after just a very short period of chanting, we can already start to feel some movement internally. Observe the nature of your breath, breathing into the center of your sternum bone. The mantra continues to echo within us, even though we have finished singing. The mantra will continue to work, let's say. It will continue to reverberate within us. Take some water if you need some, change your position. Make sure you're comfortable. We're going to continue. I've got 2 more songs I want to share with you. This one is a Rumi poem, and this is a translation I have. It's about coming back to the path. For those of us that have strayed, for those of us that have gotten lost, confused, gone off the rails, it's an invitation to come back home, to come back to our heart, to remember that even though we may have fallen many times, the invitation is always to return home, to come back. And I use this a lot in my courses to welcome all the participants back into the space again. It's a way for us to connect as a family of singers, of practitioners, and to forgive ourselves and each other. So we're gonna start this song by dedicating it to ourselves. And then I'm gonna shift the attention at some point and get you to sing it to someone else in need, perhaps a family member or a friend, or someone that could do with hearing these words. And when we sing with that person in mind, we are singing into the quantum field, right? It's like a blessing or an invocation that we're singing to that person. So hopefully this sound is okay. Please let me know if sounds a bit funny. And once again, I'll just start by singing, and you can join whenever you're ready. Deep inhalation. Come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are. Even if you have broken your vows 1,000 times, come again. Come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are. Even if you have broken your vows 1,000 times, come again. Breathe. Deep inhalation. Singing from the heart. An invitation to yourself to return to yourself. Come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are. Even if you have broken your vows 1,000 times, come again. Come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are. Even if you have broken your vows 1,000 times, come again. Breathe. We're going to think of someone we know who has fallen off the path, who could do with hearing these words, someone who is suffering, confused, lost. Let's hold that person in our hearts and sing. 1, 2, 3. Come, come, whoever Even if you have broken your vows 1,000 times, come again. Once again, hold that person in your heart and singing at full volume, full expression. 1, 2, 3, and come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are. Even if you have broken your vows 1,000 times, come again. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation, and just feel the resonance of these words, the meaning behind them, the intention behind them. So it's important to sing in our own language as well, right? We connect a lot more with the meaning when we're singing in our own language. So I teach courses in both English and Spanish, and whenever I'm teaching Spanish, a Spanish population will always sing some songs in Spanish, in Castellano, and vice versa with the English community. So it's never just mantras. Although they are very powerful, there's nothing like singing in your own language. So I wanted to offer this as a chance for us to, deeply connect with the meaning. And we're going to just finish our singing practice with a combination, right? So this is also a song from my album. And the first part is part of a poem, which is so beautiful, as you are, because you are happening right now, right in this moment. And your happening is beautiful. Your being, your act of existing is beautiful. It's a real affirmation, this song. It's really just celebrating everything that you are. And very often in my workshops we do this facing another person eye to eye and singing it to each other. And then I've combined it with the Hare Krishna mantra, which if you're into Bhakti yoga and mantra singing, this is one that everyone enjoys and loves. It brings a lot of joy and a lot of light into the heart, this mantra. Krishna is an aspect of the cosmic Christ. Krishna is another word for Christ. Krishna was an illuminated being that incarnated the cosmic Christ. Rama as well, another sage, very wise incarnation of spirit on this earth. And these are teachers that live on in our hearts, right? I can see that there's bits and pieces in the chat, so I will come back to the chat when we have finished the class. But please feel free to leave any of your comments or feedback. I'm happy to hear it. So we repeat as you are, twice. Because you're happening right now, right in this moment. We repeat that twice as well. And then, and your happening is beautiful, we just say once. Okay? So we'll do call and response. So I'll sing and then you'll respond. And then eventually we'll end up singing together. Okay. 2, 3, 4. As you are, now you. As you are, again. As you are, now you. As you are, because you're happening right now, right in this moment, because you're happening right now, right in this moment, and your happening is beautiful as you are. Okay, so that's the full cycle. We'll do it again, and you can sing with me as you wish. 1, 2, 3, and as you are, as you are, as you are, as you are, because you're happening right now, right in this moment, because you're happening right now, right in this moment, and your happening is beautiful as you are. Back to the beginning. As you are, as you are, as you are, as you are, because you're happening right now, right in this moment, because you're happening right now, right in this moment, and your happening is beautiful as you are. One more time. As you are, Just taking a few moments to be in silence. And as you breathe here, recognize that the mantra continues to do its work within you. As we align our voice, our song, our speech with these words of praise, of joy, of peace, we become those very states of being. We begin to code, to program ourselves into those frequencies. And obviously, the more we practice, the easier it will become to live from those states. May the silence carry the echo of our song. So I want to thank you for your attention, for your presence, for your song. And I